Hey everybody, this is Ryan. Let's take a look at the synth part in verse 3 of Everything I Wanted. It looks like this. I tried to scream, but my head was underwater. They called me weak, like I'm not just somebody's daughter. Could have been a nightmare. So the benefits of learning this is we are working on our alternative picking, we are working on palm muting, and we are learning some arpeggios that could be very useful for just growing your guitar skills in general, or being able to perhaps do something like pattern sensory enhancement, that kind of stuff. Something to note just about this tab and this part in general. This part is, I would consider it to be a pretty advanced guitar skill, working on arpeggios. Doing this in session is absolutely not necessary. Some other options that you can do for this part, because it's down in dynamic, you can take the D major 7 that you learned earlier and just do it palm muted, maybe like I tried to scream and was underwater. You can do kind of like, these are power chords, and so you just do power chords from D to E to C sharp to D. You can do that. You can do something like where I'm taking the same power chord and I'm doing palm muting, but I'm doing kind of like that, just going up and down the power chord. That can be another way to do this part. I think the main contributing factor to this is the mutedness of that synth part, which you get from the palm mute. So as long as you're doing that palm muting and you're doing something like this, it's going to kind of replicate what it sounds like. Also, because the part is down dynamically, you can just do I tried to scream, but my head was underwater. They called me weak, like I'm not just somebody's dog, something like that. Any of that stuff is fine. Let's actually just talk about the plucking hand. So to palm mute, you're going to take the palm of your hand right here, and you're going to rest it on the bridge like this. If you go too far forward, you're going to get muted strings. If you're too far back, the strings are open. So you want to get this kind of muted sound like that. The next thing I'd recommend that you do is you pinch your fingers like this, so that way it's like you're pretending you're holding a pick. And these are all downstrokes. For the upstrokes, you just kind of do it like that. And that's how you do the alternative picking. You can do this riff all downstrokes like this. But if you do it all downstrokes, you have to, I think, be more articulate. But it can be easier to do it that way too. I just go back and forth between whether I do all downstrokes or alternative picking. This is a great one for alternative picking because you're also doing string skipping, which is very good for building up your alternative picking skills. So anyway, let's go into the tabs. So let's do middle finger on the 5th fret of the A. Then you're going to do 4th fret on the D. And you can do all downstrokes for right now. Pinky on the 7th fret of the D. And then ring finger 6th fret on the G. If you find that this 4th fret to this 7th fret is a bit of a stretch, you can kind of like shift a little bit like this, so that way your finger can reach. You're not trying to get all the strings to ring out. So if you have to kind of do a little bit of a motion like that, you certainly can do that. But let's just take this D major 7 arpeggio and let's just loop it very slowly over and over again. So it looked like this. And then we'll start over. So 1, 2, ready, go. And you can try this alternate picking, or you can do this all downstrokes. At the very top, you can see that I have the down and the upstrokes marked. Do it one more time. Now from here, your ring finger is right there, and your pinky finger is free. So now you're going to put your pinky on the 7th fret of the A string. Then your ring finger is going to go to the 6th fret on the D. Your pointer is going to go to the 4th fret on the G. And then your middle finger is going to go to the 5th fret on the B string. There it is. So if you play all these notes together, this can actually be a really good voicing for playing a major chord. It's basically a C major chord, but you're not playing the low E or the high E. So you can move this shape around. So this is E, E flat, D, C sharp major, etc. I find myself using this voicing a lot when I play with inversions. But let's just practice this section very slowly, like this. And this just goes straight up the arpeggio. So 1, 2, ready, and let's loop it now. This one is especially difficult to alternate pick because you're starting on this, or you're ending on the B and then going all the way back down to the A. But that's also what makes this riff really good. And you're doing string skipping every stroke, which is great practice for this skill. Let's do it one more time. Now from here, your middle finger is up there. Now you're going to take your first finger and you're going to put it on the 4th fret of the A string. Then you're going to do your pinky on the 7th fret of the A string. You can stretch if you like. Now here is where things can look different. So what I gravitate towards is playing the 6th fret with my ring. And then I have the ability to kind of flatten this joint. So that way I can grab the 6th fret on the G. Now I've met students who cannot flatten their joint like this. So if that's the case, I would do first finger, 4th fret on the A, then pinky, 7th fret on the A, and then you use these two fingers in some kind of way that works best for you. So I would do middle finger, 6th fret on the D, and then ring on the 6th fret of the G. Or you could do the opposite. So you have ring finger, 6th fret on the D, and then middle finger, 6th fret on the G. But if you do it this way, now you have this kind of awkward stretch right here, which is why I prefer doing middle then ring. So that's kind of what that would look like. So let's practice this C sharp minor arpeggio very slowly, same speed, like about that fast. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, right here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, and 1 and 2. Again. Two more times. last time. And then with whatever finger you just ended on, now your middle finger is going to go back to the D major 7 and then outline the D major 7 arpeggio, which we can work on that transition going from C sharp minor to the D major 7. So there's many different options for this. This is a pretty advanced guitar technique, and don't feel like you absolutely have to play this part. During the practice video, if you want to practice it any of those other ways that I just showed you, you're more than welcome to do that. So I'll see y'all there.